What's up guys, Justin here with the realtimeessentials.com, back with another Unity materials tutorial for you. So in today's video we're going to talk about how to use displacement maps in order to simulate materials that have more ups and downs and look more realistic in 3D inside of Unity. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so we're going to start off talking about a way to do this with the standard render pipeline. We'll talk a little bit later about how to do this with the high definition render pipeline, but for now what we want to do is just go get the texture files from polyhaven.com for the snow material. And so you can see how the snow material has some fairly substantial ups and downs in here, and we want to use the displacement map that comes along with this in order to simulate those inside of Unity. So you can just select the option for 2K. Usually I go with the blend just because it's got all the required texture maps in it, and so it'll have like the displacement map, which is really what we're looking for. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to create a material inside of Unity. So what I've got here is just a simple plane, and now what I want to do is I just want to add a material inside of the folder that I created for material. So I'm just going to right click, go to create, and click on material, and then we're just going to type in snowy ground. So what that does is that creates a material over here that we can apply those maps to that we just downloaded. And so if you download and extract that, you're going to get 4 maps that are going to look something like this. We want to take those and we want to drop them into our materials folder over here. So you can just select them by clicking and dragging and just drag them into this folder in Unity. So then we'll have those materials in here and we can start messing around with them. And so what we want to do is we want to apply those maps to our material over here. So we're just going to select our snowy ground material and we're just going to drag the diffuse map into the albedo slot. We're going to drag the normal map into the normal slot. Make sure you click on the button for fix now to mark this as a normal map. Let's go ahead and drag this over so we can see what this looks like. So if we drag this in, notice what we did is we just created a material that has the diffuse map in here as well as the normal map. And so what that's going to do is that's going to basically apply this material to this object, and it's going to have the normal map, which is going to make it look bumpy. But the problem is this is completely flat, right? And if we look at this, there's just no realism coming off of this object whatsoever. And so what we need to do is we need to use this displacement map in order to make this have more ups and downs like the material in real life would. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to take the displacement map and we're going to drag it into the height map box right here. Well, notice how when we drag that into the height map box, what we get is we get some more ups and downs in here, as well as a little slider next to height map that allows us to adjust the ups and downs in here. So notice if I drag that all the way to the right, this is simulating more ups and downs inside of my image. So just from a camera view right here, this looks more 3D than it was before. However, we have a little bit of a problem here, and the problem is that at the moment this is completely flat, right? So notice how this is simulating this, but if I fly out, this is 100% flat. Like, it's not actually affecting anything having to do with the mesh right now. So it's just kind of a simulation, which if that's all you need, this is a great function, you know. You can just kind of use this. But what we need to do is we need to have a different kind of shader in here that allows us to actually move the geometry of our surface up and down. So there's nothing I'm aware of built into the standard pipeline right now to Unity that allows you to do this. So what we have to do is we have to download a custom shader from the Unity Asset Store. And so what we want to look for is we want to look for this free DX11 tessellation displacement shader. So you just need to go in here and you just need to purchase this. So this is a free add-on, so you just need to add it to your cart or click whatever this button is in order to purchase it with your login. But then we can download that into Unity. A few things to note: you do need to make sure that your computer has a few of these basic things. So for example, it's using DirectX 11, so you need to make sure that your computer supports and has this enabled. But overall, there's not a bunch of real giant requirements. Well, then all you have to do is just go into your package manager over here, just find the DX11 tessellation displacement shader and just click on the button for download. And then you want to import this. So you're just going to click on import. It's going to give you all of this stuff right here, and you're going to click on the import button. I've already done this, so I don't need to click on the import button anymore. But if you go into the folder, and so notice this adds a folder down here for dx11_tessellation. So there's a README file that kind of talks you through what the different things do, as well as under the examples, there's a couple demo scenes that you can use in order to look at this. But when you installed this, what this did is this actually added a new shader type to your materials options over here. So let's go back to our materials and select our snowy ground. Right now this is set as a standard shader. But what this allows us to do is this allows us to go down, and there's now a tessellation shader that we can select. And there's 3 different options. I'm going to focus on the standard right now. But if you click on this, what that's going to do is now, if you look at the edges of this surface, notice how you're actually getting ups and downs in here, as opposed to this being flat and just simulating the ups and downs. And so it's also going to add a couple different options in here for tessellation settings and displacement settings. Let's look at the displacement settings first. So displacement scale is going to let you set how high up and down this is displacing this object right here. And then offset is just going to set how high off of the base plane this is. So notice how you're getting a preview over here, but this allows you to completely set kind of the placement of your surface inside of 3D. So you can use this in order to adjust this up and down. One other thing I want to note is notice that what this is doing is this is using tessellation in order to make this move up and down. And what I mean by that is if we jump into wireframe mode, notice how what this is doing at the moment is this is taking our plane, which had no geometry in it before, and it's actually splitting it up based on these features right here. So if I drag this to the right, notice how this is using longer edge length. And so what it's doing is it's splitting this surface up into geometry so that there's more points for this map in order to set things moving up and down. So notice if I move that all the way to the right, then I have much less detail in here, and you're going to see that inside a shaded mode. You can see how this is going to be much less detailed. If you drag it to the right, notice how there's more detail. You're getting a result that more precisely matches the actual map. So that being said though, the further to the left you drag this, the more geometry you're creating. So while this might be really realistic, what it's doing is it's creating a lot of geometry in here that your computer is actually going to have to create. So just be aware of that. There's also an option here for distance based. This is just another way to set up the tessellation of your surface in here. So usually I just kind of stick with the edge based, but if you're not getting the result that you want, you can kind of play around with this. But this is an easy way to create real 3D displacement inside of your projects. That's how you can set up displacement in the standard pipeline. I'll create another video talking about how to do it in the high definition render pipeline. But in the meantime, leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. If you liked this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new Unity content every week. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.